Have you noticed that people are getting away from using traditional wedding vows? You know,
Yeah, I mean, I think nowadays are a lot different than what it used to be. Uh, People are modifying what marriage is supposed to be, uh, mainly because they don't want to have to change and construct to what uh,
traditional vows.
traditional vows. Yeah,
Hmm.
they just want to do anything. They just want to be able to do what I want to do, and if things get tough, I'll be able to reverse out of this thing some kind of way, and I don't need to uphold what has generally been expected in a marriage. Now I do some things.
So,
I
what do you think about for better or worse? Let's break this down here.
Well, most people want to be around for the better. That's
That's
the
the
number
truth.
one thing. Everybody want to be the better. Everybody want to take the
First time, I
trips.
agree with you.
Everybody want to take the trips. Everybody want to buy the cars, buy the nice homes.
Hmm.
But at the end of the day, when things get tough, because you got to understand, a lot of people, they don't know how to withstand tough times. When
Hmm.
things start getting tough in their life, they tend to retreat. They tend to ball up and keep their head stuck under the covers, or go try to look for somebody else to fix their problem instead of getting up off your ass and going to fix it yourself.
Now, come on, Kevin. It's got to be some understanding in that. Like, come on, when we talk about the worst, how bad can it get?
Man,
What if the husband gets on drugs?
well, that is bad.
Yeah, that can be the worst.
Yeah, that can be the worst.
So, shouldn't a woman have an out?
Yeah, I'm not saying that you should stick because it has to be a line drawn in the sand. I
Hmm.
mean, it's a line drawn in the sand for everything. Your kids, your mother, your father, your brother, your sister. It's a line drawn in the sand. 'Cause at the end of the day, it's your life. You the one got to live this life.
Well, what about postpartum depression? The wife had the
Man,
baby, then she don't want to cook, don't want to clean up, don't want to get out of bed, ain't cleaning herself, don't comb my hair, don't want to take care of the kids, definitely ain't having sex with the husband. I mean, she just depressed in the worst form of way. Is that out for the man?
well, it's a lot worse things than that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's something I think you could work
You
through.
can work through it. Okay.
Like I say, it's got to
Do
be
you
a
think it has a timeline on things that you're trying to work through? Like, should a person invest a year, 2 year, 3 years trying
man. If
to
you
fix
stay
that
depressed
problem?
for years, then you gotta look. It's a problem.
Well, just any worse situation. Like, what is a timeline? Just think it. Say if the woman did want to try to see her husband through a drug addiction, is there a timeline, or should it be repetitive? Like, if he does good for a little while and then he's back out there again,
Yeah, sometimes at some point you got to go into survival mode.
survive.
You're gonna have to go into survival mode. You can't allow somebody to drown you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if somebody slip in the water
Mm-hmm.
and you jump out and you try to save them and you drown, okay, that could be admirable and that could be a risk that you're willing to take.
Mm-hmm.
But to deliberately say, hey, man, don't get in the water, bro, because you're gonna drown.
Mm-hmm.
And you say, well, I ain't gonna drown, but I'm gonna get in the water. And you expect me to drown with you. And after I done told you you don't know how to swim, so you're drowning yourself and you want to drown me with you, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna go out there when I already told you that you can't swim, don't get in the water, but you continuously want to get in the water because the water feels good.
So, do you think that people honestly sit down and think about the vows prior to? They like, do they ask themselves, I understand what better mean, but what could the worst look like for me? Like, what is the worst possible thing that could happen before they decide to marry someone, before they agree to, get the dress, have the big, nice wedding? Do they ever ask themselves, what is the worst that I'm willing to endure?
Well, you're not gonna know that really. You're not gonna really know that. You can look at yourself and see what you have endured and
So,
what
you
you've
don't
been
think you
through.
have limitations?
Yeah, you have limitation.
And you know those in limitations before you go into something. Like, do you not know there are boundaries and standards that you're not willing
Yeah, yeah,
to?
yeah, 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 yeah. I
Yeah,
already, yeah, I said that you got to have boundaries.
yeah.
Yeah, it's at some point you have to have a boundary and a line drawn in the sand that you're not willing to go past.
Mm-hmm.
Because first of all, if you let somebody make you go past your boundaries,
Mm-hmm.
that's when the disrespect is gonna start. And
Mm-hmm.
they don't have to be outward disrespectful, like talking any kind of way. They'd be like, "Hey, man, um, for instance, I need you to come pick me up at such and such time."
Mm-hmm.
And you get there, and I'm not ready. I'm sitting in there bull jiving around, not respecting that. Hey, you drove all the way to come pick me up, but I'm not ready.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not ready, and I could have been ready. Things, simple things like that. Um, it doesn't have, but that's where to start, and people can start to be disrespectful to you, borrowing money and not paying it back. You know, um, telling you they're gonna do something for you, but they never do it. It's things like that.
So basically, you should already know what you're willing to accept. Now, see, a lot of people would say that that's hypocritical, that you're going into a marriage already saying what you will leave for.
No, it's not. It's
Mm-hmm.
not. It's not that. I mean, you can be in certain situations where you just can't stay with the person.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't stay with them. Some people have mental issues until where they're so violent you can't stay with them. So
Mm-hmm.
you say, "Well, Lord, am I supposed to uh, stay with my husband or
Mm-hmm.
stay with my wife, even though she's so violent I can't be with her?" You know, and some people say, "Well, you got to stick through all that stuff."
Mm-hmm.
But how can you when they need so much help? And a lot of time when you have demons, you the only one can chase those demons away. So that's why it's very important that,
So couldn't you just separate and see if it'll get better? Should you wait?
yeah, you can try anything you want to try. But what if it don't work?
Mm-hmm.
Then what are you gonna do?
So during those separated times, should you not date, not see anybody else? Do you just sit and wait on the person that you vowed to get better? Doesn't mean you have to live in it, but you remove yourself from it. But what do you do when you remove yourself from it? Do you sit and you wait? And if you wait, how long should you wait?
If you're a Christian person, then
Mm-hmm.
you're supposed to wait until
Pray.
God and pray
Mm-hmm.
until God fix the problem for you and fix that situation.
Mm-hmm.
For the most part, that's what you're supposed to do. But we know most people are not disciplined enough to do that.
Mm-hmm.
They're not gonna sit there and wait until you get yourself together. Whatever it is that you got going on, could be any kind of addiction or whatever.
So what if some misfortune your partner ends up in jail, whether it's the woman or the man? Are you supposed to wait and say the reason that they end up was appropriate, but to you, it was honorable to you, like saving your family or doing something for the family, and the law just found them guilty. What are what should you do then? Your husband get 10 years, your wife get 10 years, and the reason, and it was legit, but yet the legal system found him guilty and put him away. So what do you do?
The real question is not about what you do.
Mm-hmm.
The real question is what that person that is in jail,
Mm-hmm.
the expectations and what they should do.
Well, don't you think that when you marry a person, your expectations is for them to uphold a vow, better or worse? Look, honey, this is the worst. You still my wife. You're still my husband. This is the worst for us. So I expect you to ride.
I don't think it'd be me. And if I
Mm-hmm.
had a wife
Mm-hmm.
and I was locked up for 10 years, me myself,
Mm-hmm.
I would request that try to come see me as much as you can,
Mm-hmm.
put something on my commissary,
Mm-hmm.
and just go find you somebody to be with.
Be with as in intimately
Yeah.
or just
Yeah, go find you
companionship?
a boyfriend.
Okay.
Because that's no use in both of us suffering. One of us is suffering, but that's no use. And I'd rather for you to just
So
you
you're okay with opening up yourself to possibly losing her?
well, that's probably gonna happen anyway.
Not necessarily, but I'm just
And I
saying.
mean, well,
So when should she start that? A year,
I
two
mean,
years, immediately?
I mean, whenever. Because man, listen, both of y'all, you know, she's probably not gonna not have sex in 10 years.
So
You know that.
let's just look at it this way. You say that's your agreement. We're gonna go with your agreement. And there's an appeal that comes, just not of your knowing. And you've been there 2 years and your wife has made a relationship with somebody else and now you're being released.
That's part of the game.
Hmm.
That's part of the game, and that type of stuff can happen, man. Because look at the circumstances. So you want you're gonna sit there and want that woman to not have anybody for years, and you gotta think that's years of her life that's passing by.
You call me selfish, you whatever you want to say about me, but I expect my husband to wait. I expect him to wait them 10 years. I was defending the family. We signed up to be together. So 10 years, you better wait. You better be faithful. You better, this is where I need you to be good. Yes,
I mean,
I
I
need you.
don't,
Yes,
you know,
I, yes.
I don't. I'm not gonna argue with you because some people would expect it
Oh, yeah,
and
a
buy
100%.
by the vows. You're supposed to, but
Yeah.
I'm just not gonna even try to go because number one, all you're gonna do is get your expectations built up just to be
Mm-hmm.
let down, and
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna put some expectations on her that she probably not
No,
gonna
I expect you
uphold.
to be the husband that you said you would do on that day when we was dressed in all that white and you were smiling and expecting all those expectations. When you stand there and told the preacher and all them people sitting in the church for better or worse, okay, this the worst. You better come see me.